Good evening, everyone, and welcome to 12 News at 6. I'm Mark Curtis.
And I'm Cutty Devine. Arizona's top prosecutor tells 12 News that she's investigating whether Donald Trump made a death threat at an event in Glendale against one of his toughest Republican critics.
12 News journalist Bram Resnick tells us what prompted the investigation. Bram?
Yeah, Mark, Attorney General Chris Mays told me during today's taping of Sunday Square Off that Donald Trump's attack on former Congresswoman Liz Cheney using violent imagery might violate Arizona law. A freedom of speech expert I checked with does not agree with Mays. Donald Trump was unloading on one of his toughest Republican critics.
His daughter's a very dumb individual, very dumb.
With former Fox host Tucker Carlson listening, the Republican presidential nominee put former Congresswoman Liz Cheney in a gun sight.
She's a radical war hawk. Let's put her with a rifle standing there with 9 barrels shooting at her, okay? Let's see how she feels about it. You know, when the guns are trained on her face.
To Arizona's Democratic Attorney General Chris Mays, that sounded like it might be a death threat.
I have already asked my criminal division chiefs to start looking at that statement, analyzing it for whether it qualifies as a death threat under Arizona's law.
Trump's comments Thursday night in Glendale came days before an election that's being carried out with a heavy cloak of security.
It is the kind of thing that riles people up and that makes our situation in Arizona and other states more dangerous.
Mays agreed that Trump's statements might be protected speech. A free speech expert says they are protected.
The legal standard is whether it's a true threat. So, you'd have to look at how seriously it was made.
First Amendment expert Greg Leslie says there was no call for violence or claim that Trump would take up arms.
If I were him, I would say it was just inartfully expressed, but he was presenting a hypothetical more than anything.
The Trump campaign responded that AG Chris Mays' investigation was, quote, a desperate attempt to help out Kamala Harris's failing campaign. Mark Caribe?
Bram, at the end of the day, Chris Mays can be angry about it and investigate it, but until former President Trump's supporters rebel against comments like this, nothing will change.
You're right, Mark, and it's clear from the reaction among Trump supporters to what Mays is doing, nothing's changing. They are defending him to the hilt, claiming he's being misinterpreted, claiming this is lawfare. And here we go again, essentially.
Yeah, and Bram, what was Congresswoman Liz Cheney's reaction to his comments?
She had a pretty fierce reaction to it, saying that, here he is threatening violence against me. So she believes it was a threat. But again, you put the free speech test to it, and you can get away with a lot. I pushed back on Greg Leslie, the free speech expert, and saying, but how much is a lot? How far can this go? And there's really no good answer yet. It's almost like you don't know it until you see it.
Yeah, very fine line there. All right, Bram, thank you.